So if you have a bolster or a cushion or a rolled up blanket, we're going to place that behind the knees. And if you want a little something under your head, you're welcome to put something there. And I do recommend using as little as possible so you're not pushing the head forward, but just a little tiny support. And since we will be staying in each pose for a while, really take your time getting it set up in the most comfortable way possible. Find where your legs are most relaxed, maybe ankles flopped open. Find a comfortable position for your arms, perhaps palms facing up. You can close your eyes or keep them open with a soft gaze. And you're welcome to have the breath be just natural without any effort, or purposefully slow it down. A nice deep exhale or sigh may help you release a little bit more. And we'll be unwinding and letting go in layers, releasing as much as you can right now. In a few moments, you might be ready to let go a little bit more. If there are parts of your body that you know you tend to hold tension, check in on them often. Maybe muscles of your face, around your eyes, and your jaw. Your neck and shoulders. And anytime you do notice that your mind has shifted into planning, problem solving, rumination, all the things that minds do. Just as soon as you notice, you might drop it right in the middle of the thought, giving yourself permission to just rest, to just be. Right now, there's nothing that needs your attention. There's nothing you need to think about or plan or go over. And while we're settling into stillness like this, if you become agitated, if you feel the need to move, you are always welcome. You don't have to be in stillness. You might take a stretch at any time, shift or adjust at any time. Everything we're doing is optional. So in a moment, I'll offer the next pose. And you get to first check in with yourself. Do you want to stay? That's a great choice, just as good as anything else. If you would like to stay where you are, you can just keep settling in. If you are ready to move, you can take your time. The transitions are part of the experience, how you take care of yourself. And there's no right or wrong way to do that. You might add a little movement, your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Just feeling whatever it is you're doing. If you do want to bring your knees in, take a little circle or rock, that could feel good in between. And the next pose that I'll offer is a belly bolster. So if you would like to try this, we're going to place something under the belly. So that could be your bolster, could be a cushion, a rolled up blanket, and we want it quite low, very lower belly or even fronts of the hips. If this feels uncomfortable for your ankles, you're welcome to put a blanket or cushion under your lower legs so that your lower legs are supported. And find a comfortable position for your head and neck. So head can be neutral, could be turned to one side. I sometimes like to add a little something under my chest here. Could try that. So these first few moments are experimenting. How does this work for me? Does this work for me? And if it doesn't, do something else. Belly bolster is great for digestive issues, for putting a little space in the lower back if you have lower back pain or tightness there. Can be good for menstrual cramps. letting the weight of your body just release. Remembering the tool of a deep sigh or deep exhale as a way to let go a little bit more. If you had your head turned one way, you might turn it the other way just to bring balance, even out the two sides. We can use the fullness of the breath to bring space where it's needed, bring release where it's needed. You can probably feel the lungs, the rib cage expanding and releasing with your deep breath. Perhaps imagining that movement anywhere else in the body, maybe the lower back, expanding, opening, creating space as you inhale. Releasing, letting go, grounding as you exhale. If you would like to stay longer, you are welcome. There's not a better or worse way to relax. You get to choose. If you are ready to shift position, take your time. Each moment of your transition can be a time to take care of yourself, moving in the way that feels good. And the next pose that I'll offer is child's pose, which can be done how you normally like to. A couple ways to make it more comfortable are to put something under the lower legs, a blanket or cushion, supporting your knees. And if your ankles are tight, having padding under the lower legs but letting the feet fall off the end can be good. You can also use your bolster between your legs under the rest of your torso. So taking the first few moments to find how you're most relaxed. You can have your knees closer or further, the bolster this way or that. Taking all the time you need, because again, we'll be here for a while. It's worth futzing. And then seeing what is there to let go of. Could you let the weight of your body release a little bit more? If you did have your head turned one way, you might turn it the other way, just bringing balance as best you can. If you're enjoying where you are and want to stay, that's an option. If you're ready to come out of this, how do you feel like moving? You can just practice asking, tuning into our body's natural intelligence. You might take a few cat-cows. The next pose that I'll offer is a supported fish. And there's lots of ways to do this. Gentle, deep. So if you already know how you like to do it, you can come right into it. I'll show a few options. So probably the most gentle would be to use a rolled up blanket or a small cushion. If you're rolling up your blanket, make it a tight roll so it doesn't collapse too much underneath you. But it could be very small, just like an inch or two. And that's going to go behind the upper back. Pretty high up, just low enough so the shoulders fall off the end of it. If you want more, you could use a bolster or a couple blocks. In general, the harder and higher the thing you choose, the more intense. The softer or smaller the thing you choose, the less intense. So you could put your bolster behind your upper back. If you're choosing something high, you may want to have something supporting your head. So instead of the head being dropped and the chin way up in the air, there's support. Blocks would probably be the most intense. If you do like a little bit more, you could use either 2 blocks on low, 1 on medium, 1 on low, or both on medium. So again, these first few moments are testing it out. How do I want to do this? What works best for me right now? If the first thing you try isn't quite it, try something else. Legs can be bent or straight. Arms can be overhead or up to the side. And then settle in, letting go. This is a wonderful pose for opening up the chest, the upper back, the shoulders, areas that can get quite tight, especially with a lot of computer work or working with your hands in front of you. So this can be like great yoga therapy, keeping balance and mobility. moving and adjusting are always welcome. If you'd like to stay, feel free. You can just keep letting go here. If you're ready to move, take your time. One gentle way of releasing is to interlace your fingers behind your head. And then use your arm strength to lift your chin to your chest, taking the pressure off your props. And then move to one side to shift your things out of your way. And come back onto your back. You might bring your knees in or just take a little rocking or circling. The next pose that I'll offer is supported bridge. So this can be done from on the back, lifting the hips and sliding something under the hips. So that could be a block on low or medium. If you like it higher than medium, instead of going high, I would suggest stacking 2 blocks, one on top of the other on low. If the hard edge of the block isn't quite working for you, you could put a blanket over it, a cushion over it, or try your bolster instead. Now we want it a little lower than the lower back. So hips are resting down, torso's at a slight incline. This is a very gentle inversion. And you're welcome to just settle into stillness here or join me for a hip flexor stretch. If you'd like to join me, bring your right knee to your chest, grab hold of it with one or both hands. Could be up around the top or back behind, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then straighten the other leg and let that straight left leg hang. So the front of the left hip starts to get a nice opening. The more you hug your right knee in, the more you let that straight left leg hang, the more of an opening there can be. Let's switch sides. Slowly bringing left knee in, taking hold of it with one or both hands, hugging it in close, and then straightening the right leg and opening up as best you can through the front of the right hip by letting that straight leg hang. Left knee in close as you can, right leg dropping and releasing. When you feel even on the two sides, can come to neutral. So that could be both knees in. Could be both feet back to the floor. Or it could be both legs straight, either up in the air or along the floor. And feel free to adjust the placement or height of your props and find the most relaxed position possible. So if your legs are up, see if you can stack the bones so the muscles are just soft and hanging as if you were suspended. And keep letting the belly release, the arms soften, the face relaxed even more. At any point, if you want to take a different leg position, you are welcome. And remembering there's not a right or wrong way to do what you're doing. We're each exploring our own bodies, listening, learning as we go. If you would like to stay here longer, you're welcome. If you're ready to come out of this, what's the most gentle way for you to release? Taking your time, moving your props out of your way. happy baby may feel like a good next pose. A little counter stretch to that, grabbing the soles of the feet on the inside, and pressing your knees towards the floor. And this can be done in stillness or with any movement. You can keep your legs bent or explore straightening them part way or all the way, one at a time or together. The next pose that I'm going to offer is a twist. So if you bring your right knee to your chest and drop the left leg long, you can guide your right knee across your body and open out through the right arm. Now there's many ways to do this. Your shoulder can stay on the floor and the knee off, or you might bring the knee all the way to the floor, and then for most bodies the shoulder will be off, or somewhere in between the two. And you can also use support under your shoulder or knee. So you might try a bolster under your right knee and a blanket under your right shoulder, so that things are resting into support. Take your time finding just the right position for you. Letting go. You can always use a little movement or touch. You can always use a deep exhale. Unless you'd like to stay longer on this side, I'm going to suggest we switch. You can take a moment in neutral with both knees in, just feeling the effect of that, noticing the difference on the two sides, and then very carefully setting up the second side. So you might switch your props. Bringing your left knee in this time. Guiding it across, maybe to your bolster or some other support. And then rolling open through the left shoulder. Maybe a little support under the left arm or shoulder. And then seeing what is there to let go of here. What is there to release now? If you want to stay here longer, you are welcome. If you're ready to come out of it, when you feel even, you can bring both knees back to your chest, take a little circle or rock. We'll get set up for our final resting pose, so we can end the way we began. Shavasana. And if there's any way for you to be even more comfortable, you want to cover up with a blanket, you want to add a little support under your head or knees, take your time. Little self-massage for any area that needs it. And then settle into a few moments of stillness, letting go fully. Each exhale, just letting go of anything that's not needed here now. And you can let your breath become natural, and it may become quite shallow Some breaths deep through the nose or mouth. For our last moments of class, we're letting go of all the doing. So nothing to control, nothing to make happen. Slowly bring a little movement back to your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Maybe rock your head side to side. And then take a big yawning stretch out. When you're ready, bring your knees in. Roll to one side, pausing there for a moment, giving your body a chance to adjust. Getting ready to sit up, ready to start your day again. You can use your hands to help you up. Coming into a comfortable cross-legged position. We'll bring hands together at the heart. And just take a moment to silently thank yourself for your practice. You might let that gratitude expand out to the people and circumstances that make it possible for you to be here. That could extend far and wide. Maybe even sending gratitude and well wishes to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today.